next presenter is Mariana Schröter from the city of Hamburg. And she's going to talk about social acceptance of public activities. So Mariana, if you are ready, please, the floor is yours.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Of course, that's a little bit embarrassing. Okay, now we can start. So as you heard, I'm Mariana and I work for the beautiful city of Hamburg. And I'm here to talk about broken lights. Now, I first want to ask all of the audience behind the screen down up there, what do you think when you hear broken lights? Now, think about it, and you can later answer on our quiz. What first comes to your mind when you hear broken lights? Now, I will share my experience, what it pops in my head when I hear broken lights, and it's something like, oh no, which means fear. Pure and simple fear as a lack of security, and probably has to do something with my personal history, which I have this bad feeling since I was born in Brazil. And as a woman, I'm quite a little bit scared of walking alone at night and a little bit scared of cycling as well. Now, plus up here, I said, we already have dark time at 4 p.m. on winter time, right? It's a little bit different down there. Now, before you judge me, I know I am not alone in that feeling. And the way we perceive our surroundings has a lot to do with our cultural and our social economic backgrounds. Looking at the problem as such, we have to look also at the minorities. So here in Hamburg, in the district of Altona, we have around 60% of the total population, they are immigrants. We have also to look at another sensible and important fact is that almost 18% of the population here in the districts, they're all over 65 years old, and they might increase. So we have age, we have gender, we have diversity, and all that are part of the many facets when we are talking about broken lights and social acceptance. Now, another insight is that broken lights is not only the lack of illumination, but also this blending effect we have while going through abrupt changes of illumination, which means a lack of proper illumination, right? Additionally, we have also the concept of functional public lighting. We are looking at the commuter's way, meaning citizens going from A to B, which is a different perception than when we are sitting on a bench, for example. Now, for example, a functional way can be a tunnel. Now, they're connected to the subjective feeling about security. We have another layer, which is vandalism. And the consequences of vandalism to lamps or to our surroundings, they can be hazards and also involves security feelings, aesthetics, pollution impacts, and so on. So we can all relate probably to this distressing feeling when going through a tunnel that is vandalized and so narrow. It's like a fear room, right? Now, with all of that in mind, our understanding is our understanding of this complexity is that we have to act about it. Right. And in our pilot site, we had a beautiful transformation, as you can see in the pictures, with some street art illuminated our way. and you can see in the picture, right, before and after the intervention. Now, we have a safer feeling with that intervention while being also entertained in our way through the tunnel. It's not so high-tech as the one that Anita shows us in the US, but still quite cool. I think it's beautiful. Now, if you also like this topic about tunnel, tomorrow there will be a great presentation about the experience in Gothenburg City at the time tunnel. So stay tuned tomorrow. Now, we have to act, that's a fact, and make things efficient as well. And first of all, what it means to us at working at the city, so our narrow perspective here, is that in our point of view, vandalism can be quite challenging, right? We are looking at policy, we are looking at law enforcement, we are looking also at how to assess, how to monitor, how to analyze it, to understand all those patterns and help us achieve efficient management of the public space. When it comes to vandalizing, we have a simple and very, very pragmatic approach. We ask ourselves, where are our lamps vandalized? Are they broken? And where is missing lighting and proper lighting to our pedestrians and cyclists in the city? So we have our pilot site here in Hamburg, where the pilot project replaced all the luminaires in the summer of 2020, and also this great job at the tunnel. And here you can have a better idea of the site. We have this pedestrian bike path at the Elbe Wanderweg and the tunnel near the Elbe River. And here you can see where we wanted to survey the acts of vandalism in our pilot site luminaires in this map. So our goal is to make our administrative job smart and efficient, especially for important matters as such that involve so many social acceptance facets. We used our pilot site to do and test lots of things, and one of them was to test a smart data collection using a mobile GIS app. So we collected the data less than 1 year after the replacement using this mobile GIS app, which we customize for faster and efficient collection and also for a quicker analysis at the end. And we look at simple criteria such as presence of stickers and graffiti, if the lamps were, the posts were bent, defective, if there were lamp head glass damages as well, and so on. So in this study case at LUCIA pilot area, we are nonetheless surprised to see that in a period of less than a year, how quickly the lightning posts were sort of vandalized. But most importantly, the test in the LUCIA pilot site area with a simple and efficient GIS system showed us how to successfully collect data can help us maintain and manage the public space. So the results here that you see can be a little bit misleading, since we have about 10% of the lamps without any sign of vandalism. But we didn't have any real serious signs. They were not bent or damaged. There was one glass that was broken, but besides that was mostly stickers and some graffiti. And we have here internally a motto that as long as it sticks to stickers, we are kind of happy. Now, what we have here is a very small survey, and it does not represent the whole city, of course. We have a total in the city of 120,000 public luminaires in Hamburg, and our statistics shows that around 3% were vandalized in the last 7 years, almost 7 years. We're not done with this year yet, which gives us a median of 500 cases per year. Of course, different methodology as ours, and they're looking mostly as cases where we have to act. Now, for you to understand a little bit more about the Hamburg context, accordingly, there is here a participatory approach of communications from citizens of Hamburg with several channels. We have a central office, we have a hotline, we have Hamburg app, we have also an online system so they can report those cases. And all those channels, they are well accepted. And while this brings attention to cases to the local authorities, the data collected can be sometimes misleading, incomplete, and biased. So, for example, we might have the problem of lack of the immigrant perspective using these channels because right? And there is where co-creation, for example, can help us. But additionally, with our very pragmatic approach, the data here collected was systematically and for us internally. And for example, the street controllers of district can collect that. And it can result in a better analysis and management, and therefore improve the whole process. Choosing technologies such as using apps enable us to work efficiently here. Now, a project like the LUCIA pilot site, at least here in Hamburg, it helped us to start movements and give us insight that we have to keep up after the project is done. So, because bottom line, what we are trying to work is efficiently to make sure the way is illuminated to our cyclists, to our pedestrians. And our main goal is to keep the way lighted in a correct way with sustainable lighting, like Sibyl showed us. And it has to involve also all of those layers of social acceptance. And one of the main outputs at the end of doing it smartly is no more fear. And with that, I end my presentation. Thank you very, very much for listening.
Thank you, Mariana. So just to answer the question that you stated at the beginning, for me personally, broken lights, the answer is vandalism. So if you're collecting this data, you can add this to your data set. I have one more or less philosophical question to you. Since you are, I don't know whether you're an expert or not, but since you have been dealing with this issue quite a lot, I presume, when does vandalism become art?
Oh, that's not easy to answer, right?
I know.
I don't think anyone can answer that.
But for you, what's your personal opinion?
Personal opinion is that's a personal. That's something very personal, right? Yeah, where does it start and where does it end? I mean, when I see a sticker that is beautiful and is about what about cyclist activism, for example, then I think, well, this is kind of art. It's not something that bothers me. But when I see something that is not quite with my opinions or extremists or something like that, then I think, no, that's not. That's vandalism. So it's very personal at the end, right?
Yes, I totally agree. And I want to emphasize that as personal as this issue is, we have to give credit to city designers and city artists who are trying to make art in an organized fashion, which is basically not a spontaneous procedure as art should be. So, but yes, we need to give those people credit, and mostly they're doing a wonderful job.
Yes, and there's also a comment from someone who's listening to us. Broken Light is wonderful light art piece in Rotterdam by Rudolf Tennyson. So, obviously, Mariana, you touched a double title with a double meaning, thanks to that.